Good morning. It is Monday the 16th of March. Here I am with my first live stream from home, so this could be interesting. I'm here at home. Normally I would be in the Maggie Centre in Aberdeen, but given the current situation, I'm not frightened for myself, but I do feel that some amount of social distancing is probably prudent, but I also feel that it's really important that we keep ourselves healthy and moving. And Qigong is what I do, and we have the technology to be able to do this through this medium. It's kind of strange not having my class right here in front of me from my perspective, but we're going to give this a go, and I really hope that it works. I really hope that you guys can still continue to get something from this, because it's important that we do keep ourselves healthy, we keep our immune system well boosted. If we are all going to be self-isolating at some point, then this is the way that we do this. We keep ourselves going. So that's us. We shall get moving. We shall take a little water break after a warm-up. The way, if there's anyone new joining us, it's normally a warm-up that I do to begin with, some breathing and stretching exercises. Everything in this particular class is relatively low key. We can also do everything sitting down if we want to. Something I do say to everybody is that you do everything to your own pace. It's really important. If you feel like you want to stop, by all means stop. Sit down, have a glass of water, a cup of tea, no problem at all. Yeah, we'll have a warm-up, then we'll have a moment to take some water, and then we will then continue into the Qigong movements and exercises, and I will be working specifically with the respiratory system today. Now the warm-up itself is really to bring yourself to you, to the here and the now. Bring the mind to yourself, calm the breathing, stretch and invigorate the body that little bit. So, without further ado, hopefully we've got enough space around us. We're not going to knock into anything. So, like I said, at your own pace, follow me. We start with a breathing exercise, 2 hands pushing sky. Nice deep breaths. We'll breathe in. Clasping the hands, breathe out and stretch all the way to the toes if you can. Breathe in. And relax, breathing out. Same thing again. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And relax. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And relax. Good. All right, we'll have a little shake. Bring the feet a little bit apart, and we're going to roll through the shoulders. So we're going to start off just with some circles with the shoulders themselves, and trying to get a little bit of a stretch and some movement through. But what we want to do with this exercise is really start to slow it down and to focus and to feel what's going on. So one of the things with the shoulders and movement and trying to get some movement through the lungs as well is, as we move properly through the shoulders, getting a good rotation, we should feel the effect that we have at the top of the rib cage here, and also at the top of the rib cage at the back. So it's not just moving the shoulders or moving the arms and pretending we're moving the shoulders. We really want to have a good rotation with the arms so that we bring the collarbones together, we feel the pull apart with the shoulder blades at the back. And we're going to pick the shoulders up towards the ears. We rotate and roll back so we get a nice stretch across here, and then we can relax and release. So we can really see the movement with the arms as we have this full rotation, and then we let go. If I turn around, we keep doing the same thing. You should feel the movement, and you should be able to see me all the way up to the base of my neck here. Up, squeeze together between the shoulder blades and down. So it's really, really important that we take care of our lungs, particularly right now. And if we don't have the flexibility and movement through the rib cage, it becomes very difficult to breathe deep into the lungs, and we want good circulation, we want good respiration. So we have all of this. If we look at traditional Chinese medicine as well, and if we look at where the lung channels move to in the body, it's all coming from here and along and down towards the thumb, so we should be able to feel all of this. Now we're going to make this movement bigger. It's a really nice move. If we can make this movement bigger and roll through the body, and again, just take it easy. Every time we release and we soften, we relax before we go again. And we should now feel this movement much more through the spine and right down to the bottom of the rib cage and through the lungs. We should feel a stretch through the diaphragm as well as we open, and again we compress coming around. So it's like having some Play-Doh that's maybe been sitting out for a little bit too long and it's a bit stiff or whatever, and you don't want to kind of vigorously start moving it around. We do it gently and ease that suppleness into the body. Okay, so we've done that one quite a bit. Let's go in the other direction. So it's the exact same thing. We're going to start with the shoulders themselves. And again, this rotation through the arms. Really, first of all, try and isolate the movement with the rotation, nice and soft. Feel, again, shoulder blades coming together. We pick them up, we pull them apart, and we relax. And again, all along under here, just trying to keep it soft and supple. The fact that it's been cold outside, this is Scotland, it's frequently cold and damp, and it makes us really stiffen up around the neck and shoulders. So it's all the more important to get this movement going. And so again, let's make the movement bigger. So we really get everything smoothly moving. And we don't need to know any real Qigong just to do this. Just really helps getting the body moving, get the circulation going, and making our breath nice and deep in the body, sinking everything down. Let's do just one more. Okay, all right, good. We're going to do an exercise now called balancing plates. This is always a really interesting one in class. And it's always imaginary plates because real ones would make a terrible mess, I know. But we have an imaginary plate in each hand. We're going to move our arms around a little bit and try not to drop our plates. And this is another one, again, really working and moving through the upper body. I'm going to face in the other direction, make it a little bit easier to follow. We'll start with the right hand behind the back, and we come out. We come around, and again, remember that plate is on your hand, and we try not to drop it as we then come in. We do the same thing on the other side. Nice big circle and in. Again, we're still relaxed with the body. Let's do it again, coming around and just gently swaying with the body. So now we should feel the rib cage really along the sides as well. Again, just a nice gentle stretch. Nice deep breaths. Okay, let's do one more each side. Okay, we're going to go in the other direction. So we're going to take the right hand forward, out, and we come around. Okay, other hand. All right. Okay. Now we get really interesting. We're going to move two hands at the same time. So we bring them around and we bend the elbows, soft through the body, still coming back. And most importantly, still breathing when we do this. Going around, nice and open. One more. Okay, let's go the other way. So we'll go forward, out, rotate through the wrists, and we come around. Okay, again, forward, out, and around. Okay, I think that's enough. Any plates still left? I don't know. Well, there we go. All right. We're going to do a little bit of finger wiggling now. I always find this one entertaining in class. We start with all of the fingers and the thumbs together. So, twiddling the thumbs. We are going to be doing lots of social isolation. There might be a lot of thumb twiddling going on. So we can up the game with this a little bit. Let's go in the other direction. So relatively nice and straightforward. Okay, let's place the thumbs together. We're going to do the same thing with the index fingers. Let's go the other way. So there are always fingers that we dominate with, in the same way that we always dominate with one hand or the other. Thumbs and index fingers are relatively okay. Let's place those together. Let's move on to the middle fingers. Now, if you are doing this for the first time, it can be pretty tricky. Suddenly we don't know whose fingers it is that we're trying to wiggle. Let's go in the other direction. But it's really nice to see people in class that can really progress with this. A new person comes in and really struggles and looks around and can't figure out why everyone else can do it and they can't. And it's just practice. The more we use them, the better it gets. We'll put those ones together. This one is particularly interesting if we do the ring fingers. Now, again, in traditional Chinese medicine, if you were to look at acupuncture charts, There's a whole load of channels. They all go to or from the fingers and toes. So we need to keep this all nice and supple and mobile too. Let's go in the other direction. And keep it going. Okay, let's put those ones together. Finally, we have the little fingers. Often a little bit easier again. And the other way. The whole time, the whole body is relaxed. We're not frowning too much at our fingers. Okay, good. Wiggles and jiggles all the way through. Okay, we're going to do a stretch now from the fingertips, then all the way through the body. So let's place the hands out. I seem to have a very strange blue ink mark on a few fingers here, so we'll try to ignore those from here. So we're going to roll in with the fingers one by one. We start with the little fingers first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we connect them all up and make these beaks. We then bend in at the wrist, we bend in at the elbows, we come into the body, and we're going to sink all the way down to the ground. So really feel that you're heavy. We have this stretch through the arms now. We bring them up, and then we're going to open 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Nice and light, okay? Let's do the same thing again, rolling it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming in, coming down, sink, stretch and open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice and soft, release. Okay, once more, rolling in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming down, stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, good. Okay, so as I said earlier, we come to the fingers. We also come to the toes. This is an interesting one as well. Some people feel that they want to do this in socks or without shoes on at all. It's totally fine. What we're going to do is we're going to sit the weight nice and relaxed down on one side, and we're going to stretch through the toes all the way around from the big toe to the little toe. So we have this kind of pushing the toes back. But here's the trick. Try and feel the toes one by one, like you're counting them along the way. So we get the stretch, we get the movement, but really listening, feeling each toe and the pressure on each one. If you get anywhere past counting 2, then I think we're doing okay. Bit by bit. Okay, we're going to come up and we're going to move through the ankles so it's nice and soft and loose. And there's no sort of forced movement. It really is this idea of just softening through the joint. That's it. Okay, we want to do the same thing with the knee. And we're going to do the same thing with the hip. Now please note that with the hip movement, you're moving forward and opening. And it's just one hip that we're moving. If we move both hips at the same time, actually we're not opening the hips, we're moving other areas. So one stays still and we open through the other side. And then from here, you can either keep doing it this way, nice and stable, or we can pick up the leg and swing it around. If you're comfortable doing that, that's fine. Make sure we're okay. I've got a nice sofa behind me just in case. Or if you need to hold on to something, but just take it easy. We come up, we come out, and we relax, okay? If you're not comfortable doing that, that's totally fine. You can keep the leg on the floor and do the same thing. But we can give it a go. Okay? All right. Same thing on the other side. So again, just sink the weight. Everything's soft. And let's feel these toes one by one. Okay, good. Let's move through the ankle. Again, just keep it soft, keep it open. You can do the same thing with the knee. And we come up to the hip. And again, just one hip. Keep the other one where it is. And we're not stiff, we're relaxed. Okay, and some big circles if you want to, or you can keep the foot on the floor. Alright, good. Again, just a nice shake through the body. We're going to take a few minutes just to stand and just to breathe. At this stage, we can either stay standing, because we're going to be still for a few minutes, or if you want to sit on the floor, if you can be nice and comfortable, maybe you want something behind you to keep you supported, or sitting on a seat. So for this next part, the idea is to really bring your mind to yourself. It's interesting because I'm still going to be talking you through it, but really trying to listen to yourself. And we want the body to be well structured in the first place. We're not putting undue pressure anywhere. And in that, we try and calm everything down. We try and bring the breath nice and low into the body. And we're going to go through the body bit by bit, just to try and release any tension that we might have. It's very easy to get tension in the body. It's not so easy to let go of it. So if you are standing, you want to start with your feet underneath the hip joints. Okay, not at hip width, underneath the joints, which is only your own foot length apart. If you're sitting down, if you're sitting on a seat, then really feel that you're sitting on the sitting bones. We're not slouched, we're nice and upright, and allow the pelvis to support the upper body. The feet will be somewhere between hip width and shoulder width apart, but again, firmly down on the floor. If you're sitting on the floor, then again, just try and be nice and comfortable, the pelvis underneath you. So as we are, even if we're standing, the pelvis wants to support the body. So if we're standing, the pelvis wants to be nicely aligned over the feet. And we're going to lift tall with the head. I often say that the head is a bit like a helium balloon. You don't want to feel yourself straining or pushing that up. We don't engage the neck in that way. Like a helium balloon, it naturally ascends. It doesn't need to be pushed up. It just makes you nice and tall. And then we can feel the rest of the body hanging down from there and sinking. Try to feel your mass sink through your body, uninterrupted, supported by the pelvis, the feet on the floor. If you want to close your eyes and just follow my voice, it's absolutely fine. We're going to focus on our breath. We want to try and breathe deep breaths into the belly. So follow the breath. As you inhale, feel the breath as it comes in and allow the diaphragm to draw the breath down and allow the belly to expand as though the belly is filling with breath. And as you exhale, soften the belly, soften the diaphragm and follow the breath as it leaves in your own time. I'm going to try and feel the breath through the whole body. So as you inhale and you draw the breath down into the belly expands, and we feel the whole body expanding, opening, releasing tensions. As you breathe out, try and feel yourself just settle into those open spaces. As you feel yourself releasing tension in the body, feel your mass sinking, naturally falling through your structure. Feel the mass of your pelvis hanging down. And try and feel the weight equally placed between the two hips. And if you're standing, feel the feet on the floor and the pressure equally placed all around both feet. Breathing deep breaths. And as you breathe, soften through the feet, expanding and opening through the lengths of the toes, all the way to the ankles. Feel the space through the knees. Expanding across the hips. Again, feeling the weight of the pelvis hanging down. And as the pelvis hangs down, feel a softness through the length of the back. An opening through the length of the spine. Soft and open through the tail and the sacrum. Feel the space through the small of the back. Open between the shoulder blades. Feel the softness around the C7, the big bone at the base of the neck. And gently expanding across the shoulders. Feel them open and light. Softness through the collarbones. Soft through the elbows. And feel the space through the wrists and the palms. Open through the fingers and the thumbs. And lifting again tall with the head. The head naturally ascending and feeling the mass of the body hanging beneath. And feel a natural alignment of the neck, nice and soft. And soften at the base of the skull. Again, open around the C7. The big bone at the base of the neck. And easing any tension through the face. Soft through the jaw. Open and light across the brow. Feeling a softness behind the eyes. And extending long through the spine, lifting between the shoulder blades, long through the neck, tall through the top of the crown, sinking down through the lower back, sinking down through the tail. And again, breathing deep breaths into the belly. And we can open the eyes, bring ourselves back into our room. We're going to bring the hands together, clasping the hands. Now just rotating through the shoulder joints, we'll bring the hands overhead. Turn the palms up. Breathing in, we want to stretch. Push up with the hands, push down with the feet. Breathing out, relax. And we're going to twist, coiling from the ground up. And we can come back to your center line. Twist right. And we come back. We're going to lift and we're going to reach, stretch. Again, relax the body, nice deep breaths. If it's too much, we can hang, or we can hang. Let's come back. Lift and reach, stretch, and again relax. Okay, let's come back. And letting the arms go, relax. Take your time. Very good. All right, again, little wiggles. We're going to bring the feet a little bit further apart. Let's come around. Let the arms go, nice and loose. We can gently tap against the body if you want to. And we can move with the heel. Turning the heel out, or turning the toes out, staying on the heel, turn the toes out. Because the other way is then staying on the toe, and we come this way around. All right. Now, one last little thing before we take a little water break. Let's warm the hands up. Going to take the hands, we're going to warm the kidneys. It's always a really nice one. Okay, if this is tricky, it can be tricky to reach. You can use the backs of the hands, that's maybe a little bit easier. Then once we've done this a few times, we're going to place the hands either on the kidneys or on the hips if that is easier, and we're just going to come around through the middle. Again, it's just nice and gentle, take your time. And it's this sense again of giving space in the spine, nice and long and open through the spine. So there's no compression involved. Okay, let's go in the other direction. Okay, all right, wiggles and jiggles. All right, now normally in class when we take a water break it turns into a big social occasion, and sometimes it can last a very long time. But we're just going to, if you have something nearby, grab something, refresh yourself. I'm going to grab mine here. and stay with you, because we're only really going to run till around 11:30 this morning, and I would like to give you an exercise and movement that you can do. You can do it yourself. We've got a good basis with all of the warm-up movements just to get yourself breathing better, to get yourself moving, and to hopefully try and keep you calm and relaxed as well. And I say calm because, well, it can be worrying times. So lots of things we can do just to bring ourselves back to our own centre. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Okay, so we're going to today do a movement from one of the Wudang 5 animal exercises, and again, given the current climate, we're going to look at the one that involves the lungs. Now we're just going to take one small movement from this routine just now, one that we can do within a limited space. Okay, this is the tiger, one of my favourite of the 5 animals. Like I said, the tiger is particular for the lungs, for the respiratory system. The element there is metal. Now, this is a nice move. This is called Tiger Washes His Face. Now, we're going to look at this. I'm going to break it down for you so that you've got something that you can follow and build upon. Now, we will have a wider stance, hopefully, in a little bit, but to begin with, we're going to stand with the feet relatively wide, but keep it comfortable. I want us to focus on the arms to begin with. Now, this particular exercise, we will end up going from side to side. I do believe this particular move, actually, I have a YouTube video for, so I can maybe put that in the link on the Facebook page later on so that you can find that. But this is Tiger washing his face. So the idea is that we're going to take the hands and we have this kind of scooping motion. There is a start and a finish to this, but we'll get to that in a little minute. So we have this scooping up and this rolling in, and then a push down. Okay. From here, we're going to lift. So we have this roundness with the body. We're going to open. And then we start again with a scoop, coming in, pushing down. And do try and feel that you have this sort of sinking sense, really feeling nice and heavy again through the body. We also want this idea again of roundness. We're not up and straight. If I turn to the side, rather than being here, everything is soft and round. So this move, if we do it from this way again, we come around and we wash the face, coming in, pushing down, sinking. Okay, up, around, in, and down. Again, up. So when we open, feel an opening all the way across, again underneath the collarbones. Feel the effect through the wrist all the way that's stretched to the thumb. Open, nice and soft. Lifting, coming in, coming down. So we have an open and close motion through the collarbones, through the shoulders, that movement travels along all the way, the length of the arms, through the wrists to the fingertips, pushing down. And again, look at the movement through the wrist. We're all the way open with the wrists, open with the body, and then everything comes to close and down. So, 2 more times. Open, close, sink. Once more. Open, close, and sink. Okay, let's relax. So, if we do this from side to side, the twist in the body makes just a greater effect on each side when we're opening and closing. If you can keep the feet at a reasonable width, but if you can bring the feet that little bit wider and sit down with this, now always watch that the knees are aligned with the feet. Make sure that we're not sinking the weight in any funny place. There is this idea of, let's say, sitting like an emperor even though we're standing up. So what we have is we're going to come from the belly, okay? The thumbs are together at the navel, and you've got this little sort of round shape that helps us bring our awareness, our attention to the belly. Then we're going to come to one side, and we scoop. And we can shift the weight a little bit. We're coming in, and we're coming down. Okay, we'll come around, and then we're going to come up. Open, in, and down, around, up, open, in, and down, around, open, in, and down. Okay, so it's a fairly straightforward move, but the important thing is to get this sense of opening and then washing the face, sinking down, round with the whole body. Okay, we're not straight, we're round. Everything moves together. Up, in, and down. When we come to finish, because we'll do this sort of together as one little pattern, when we come to finish, we want to expand, and we expand from fingertips to fingertips. We lift, and the feet sink down, the fingertips reach up, and we have this sinking down all the way before we would come to close. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this as one little exercise together. And I'll leave you with that before we sign off for today. So, in the beginning, we have a little gathering coming into this position that I showed you, coming into the belly. We will do this sort of gathering 3 times, and then just follow me. We're just going to do this movement repeated a few times on either side before we come to close. Okay, so from here, sinking, stepping, and come to the center. Again, round with the body. Have a sense of 5 bows. The legs are bows, they're rounded. The body is a bow. The arms are rounded, another 2 bows. And we breathe in and we expand through the body. Expanding out to the fingers, down into the ground through the feet. It's like casting a net that we then gather everything back towards our belly. Thumbs come together. And feel the belly, everything nice and low. And let's do it again. Going to breathe in and again expand and open. Fingers and toes. And gather, drawing back into the belly. One more time. Okay. And scoop into the body. Tiger washes his face. And the body is round, open. We'll do one more on each side. And relax, open. Coming into the body, sinking the breath down. Okay. Come to close, extend through the legs, extend through the arms, fingertip to fingertip, reaching up, fingers reaching up, feet reaching down, and then we sink through the body. all the way into the belly. Feel the feet on the floor. Relax. Just bring the palms on the belly for a little moment before we finish. Try and feel the breath nice and low. And again, try and feel the belly move as you breathe, as you inhale. Expand into the belly. As you exhale, we soften, we relax. Okay. So, thank you very much for joining me. I think if you haven't already, you can type some comments. If you have any questions, please do ask. I feel very passionately about your health, not just my own. I want everyone to stay healthy, and if I can help in any way, I will. If you want any questions that we can then address in the next episode of this, I am scheduled for the next Maggie's specific class on Wednesday at 12:30. That's Greenwich Mean Time. I know we're tuning in from all over the place. So if you have any questions, if you have anything that you want me to specifically answer or work on, then we can do that. It is important also to say not just to take care of yourself, all the usual guidelines, keep your hands washed, don't touch your face, but also take care of the people around you. There's a lot of vulnerable people out there, so stay well. With feet together, I like to finish everything with a bow, and as we did a Wudang exercise today, we'll do a Wudang bow where you take hold of your left thumb, you wrap the other hand around. Thank you very much.
Tai Chi your life, Tai Chi your life.